Thanks for joining me on another edition of the Wealth Nation podcast. I am Yolanda Hariprasad. I'm a wealth advisor, and every week on this platform, I give you easy, actionable tips, content, and strategies that you can use to manage your money well, build generational wealth, and live abundantly. And today we're talking about a couple of tips that you can use to manage your money better in 2022. The Wealth Nation podcast is brought to you by Solomon Wealth Management. Solomon Wealth Management is an innovative team of wealth managers that addresses the entirety of your life, your family, your business, your future, one facet at a time. We use our skill and expertise to the consideration of what you have accumulated and how best to administer it through life's changes. From financial counsel on managing your wealth to careful contemplation of how to transfer it to future generations, it's your vision for your future combined with our skill and expertise to help you reach financial excellence. So if you want to sit with us one-on-one, go to www.solomonwealth.co.za, click on the Get Started button, and we could be chatting one-on-one. So the first tip that I have for you for 2022 is to prioritize paying down your debt. Now, if you are saddled with high interest debt, the new year should be your catalyst into prioritizing paying these balances off because of the rising interest rates. And we saw the Reserve Bank increase interest rates in the last quarter of 2021. And that's only going to go up from here because they're trying to combat inflation, which is so high. Okay, so it's only upward from here. To try and curb that spending and bring down inflation. So interest rates will rise. So take advantage while it's still low, lower than what it previously was. Pay down as much as you can. So if you have credit card debt, prioritize getting that balance down as soon as you can. Personal loans, these store cards, you got to prioritize this before the interest rates get back to normal. Okay, and with that being said, the threat of the interest rate rising, and I know a lot of folks are in that stage of buying a home, and because don't be rushed to be buying a property that you're not ready for because you want to lock in a good interest rate because interest rates are going up. Okay, take your time, plan for these purchases, and I always tell you guys to be consistent and be intentional with your money. And buying a house is a huge commitment, and it takes a lot of investment, and it's not just money, it's your time that's involved there as well. And you can earn back money, but you can't get back your time. All right, so don't make a rushed impulse purchase when it comes to such a big investment as property. If you plan for it and it's in your timing to purchase in the first half of the year, right, you've planned for it, go ahead. But if you're scrambling just because you want to lock in a low interest rate, I think it's a fool's errand. And don't be caught into that trap where you are rushing to buy that house just to lock in that interest rate. You make an unwise decision. All right. The third thing I want you to focus on is on saving. And don't be afraid to move banks. In South Africa, banking is very competitive. We have some amazing banks. Bank fees are falling, especially with the digital banks, and they're offering a lot more features now as well. So I know banking is a big thing, right? It's like I haven't changed my bank since I was a child. I've banked with the same bank. I have banked with other banks, but my primary bank is the bank that I've been loyal to. I can't seem to leave them. But this year I'm going to try and make that shift to leave this bank because I'm seriously not happy with their services. Okay, so don't be afraid to shop around wherever you get a better deal with those banks because these banks ain't loyal, right? And you shouldn't be loyal, and I shouldn't be loyal to these banks that are not loyal to us. So if your bank is not giving you a better interest rate, maybe another bank is giving you a better savings interest rate, go to that bank. Especially if inflation is not going to be coming down in the next couple of months, and you will find, like I said, the interest rates coming up as well. Okay, those low interest rates are eating away at your savings. So even 0.5% higher is far better than sticking with your current bank with the lower interest rate. So shop around. don't be afraid to just set up a savings account. And with most banks, there are no charges to those savings account. A check account is a different story. Savings account, they're usually free. But I'm not a banker. That's not my field of financial services. So go and check that out. But in my experience, when it comes to the savings account, it's either free or very minimum fees that you pay, like a R5 or so. All right. Last week I did mention that this is a nice quiet time of the year where financial advisors are not busy as yet. Okay. February is a super busy month. Okay, so try and get ahead on your financial advisor's calendar and speak to them specifically about retirement savings. It's always a good idea to speak to your advisor 6 weeks before the end of the financial year to find out what your allocations are, how much can you contribute further, especially when it comes to retirement and tax-free investments. Okay, so those are the big moves that you got to be watching here. You also, if you're making any withdrawals from that trigger capital gains, you want to be watching that as well. You want to stay within your inclusion rates and not break that 40,000 barrier and pay any extra that you can avoid paying. All right, so know your numbers when it comes to that. So know your allocations. Still sit with your advisor. If you're doing things by yourself, know how much you can top up the retirement account and the tax-free account. Number 5, look for ways to make more money. It's going to be a tough year for us, guys. The rand is not doing too well, which affects our fuel because our fuel is bought in dollars. The economic climate is not looking good. Possibly more job losses. So you're going to have to looking at other forms of income. And I'm a big advocate of the e-commerce space. If you check out our YouTube channel, I put in a video in there of the webinar that we did with a financing company in South Africa. So if you're looking for finance for your business, go and check it out. And a huge Chinese supplier, bigger than Alibaba, all right, is Global Sources. So go to my site, my YouTube channel, that is. It's Financially Fabulous Females. Check out that video on e-commerce or the state of e-commerce in South Africa, and some ideas on how to get funding, where you can source products. Obviously South African is always best, but especially when you're starting out, drop shipping is great. I speak about that a lot more in that webinar, so go and check it out. All right, so those are my tips for 2022. Consider these. Try and get it right early in the year so you're not scrambling later on.
Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to visit our website at www.financiallyfabulousfemales.com and sign up for our free investment masterclass.